And here we go. That is my best Ryan Ermanni impression. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermanni, but just for like 30 minutes today. Don't worry, the main show will be back. There they are in the background. That is Ryan Ermanni. To my right here, the one and only Braylon Edwards doing his best Malcolm Rodriguez hat impersonation.
Hey, man, nothing wrong with the Cowboys, man. I've been getting away with this hat stuff lately. Shout out to Terry Foster, our man that comes on the morning show, now the Big D Energy Show. He will be a part of that. I like the hats, man. Like the hats with the brim right now. It's a good look for him.
Yeah, that looks like one of those hats where they had like a razor blade around it. You could throw it as a weapon, like back in Wild Wild West. Remember Wild Wild West?
Oh yeah. Well, man, that movie was horrible.
That was horrible.
I watched it.
I watched it.
Will Smith, I think that's like the only thing that he's apologized for in terms of bad movies. He's had a couple of them.
That and smacking the hell out of Chris Rock.
Shit, he apologized for the Wild Wild West before he apologized for that slap.
Maz is here. What's going on, Maz?
Hey, Stick. Thanks for sitting in with us for a few minutes. Braylon, you are the Cam Newton stand-in. That's what you are. You are a Cam Newton stand-in.
Hey, listen, Cam Newton wears a lot of wild things, and none of which I would put in my collection, but his hats. I will say this, his hats are always fire. His clothes, I'm not going to say it's just not my style, but his hats, they're always on point. I do give you credit for that.
We got to have you dress Maz one day.
Oh, man.
Because Maz rolls in here with his sports polos, his pullovers.
The pullovers, the quarter zips.
I want to see Maz with some drip.
I could drip you
out, I used to have drip.
You used to have drip?
I did.
What does that mean?
Are we still talking clothes?
I used to look good, man, when I was running those bars in New York City.
Yeah?
I can see Maz with the, like the Versace open shirt with some hairs, like a gold herringbone,
gold
right?
chains.
I had that back in the way back day.
Okay,
the way back day.
This one of your bar days. You owned a couple bars, or you ran a couple bars back then in Jersey. Yeah,
those were good times, man.
Well, lots of stuff going on the show today. Obviously, we got to recap Hard Knocks, which was the finale last night. 5 episodes. I can't believe it's already over, but a lot of things I want to ask you, particularly, Braylon, because not only were you on Hard Knocks, but there were some scenarios last night which I thought were interesting about how players responded. So I want to talk to you about that. Pat Harris, the assistant director of NFL Films, who helps with Hard Knocks, he is going to be on with us coming up in about 10 minutes. And then Dan Campbell, stuff to talk about. There's
interesting stuff out of Dan Campbell. I can't wait to talk about that, man. You talk about going, and we'll tease it now, but you talk about going into the season the right way and already got the injury to Vaitai.
Oof.
And already his solutions, I'm not going to say what they are. We'll talk later. I just don't know if I agree with the solutions.
All right. Well, let's dive right into it. Let's dive right into Hard Knocks from last night. First, what'd you guys think of the final episode? Maz, what'd you think?
I loved it because I went in it obviously very interested in how they were going to do it because they obviously knew, we all know who was cut, who was released, the David Blau story, the Khalil Pimpleton story. We knew Eminem was going to show up at camp, and I loved it. And what I really liked about it was that they actually took you into that war room when Dan Campbell's like, oh, yeah, we're going to let Blau go today, but we're going to bring him right back. Oh, wait a minute.
Oops.
Oh, wait a minute. He doesn't want to come back. He's going to sign with the Minnesota Vikings. And it's like the freaking worst thing that could have happened to us. He admitted it. Basically.
And you know what's going to happen. He's going to come in
he's
and beat us in the fourth quarter like Amir Abdullah last year. His only 2 touchdowns on the season.
Against the Lions.
So they show you camp in Minnesota. And, I'm a geek for all the teams. And I'm like, wow, look at that great uniform. He gets to wear the purple. Yeah. I always loved the Viking uniform. Always loved the Viking uniform. So you just see it. He's in his purple now. He's got his purple camouflage hat on. He's looking good. He's talking about wanting to get another chance to possibly play in this league and start and do something good. And then you get Khalil Pimpleton, who gets brought into Jersey. He's like, I think I'm in Jersey. I think I'm in New York. You're in Jersey. You're in East Rutherford, New Jersey, Khalil. So he goes through camp here. He goes through a workout. He drops like the first 3 balls thrown to him. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to end so badly. Because I didn't follow if the Giants had signed him.
Okay.
I wanted to play dumb on this one. Well, I did play dumb. I was dumb. Anyway.
Clip that.
he closed the practice beautifully, and he gets the contract. Hey, we already talked to your agent. Everything is good on the contract. Just sign here on the dotted line. And this kid never, ever lost a smile. When he was getting released by the Lions, he was hugging and making them feel good, making Holmes and Campbell feel good. And then he gets Joe Schoen and Brian Dable and of the Giants, and they loved him, and he's part of the Giants now. It was great to see those camps as well.
Exploring that, the David Blau situation with the Minnesota Vikings, exploring that, the one position that you don't want a guy to go to another team in your division is the quarterback position. David Blau now playing with the Detroit Lions for 2 years.
Here's our playbook, Minnesota.
100%.
Here you go.
It's not like you're changing that playbook in the next couple of weeks. He knows the call. He knows the hots. He knows the signals. He knows the dummy calls. He knows these things. He also knows the defense as well. He knows what the defense is prime and willing to do. So that's going to be an obstacle that you have to overcome. It's going to be tough. Good insight by Dave Blau.
Well, one thing you brought up, Maz, and I thought this was, to me, the biggest thing that stood out last night on Hard Knocks is even when they were cutting players, just how highly the players were talking about Dan Campbell, how they were talking about Brad Holmes, and just the Lions organizations, and saying, thank you for treating us like men. Thank you for handling it like this. And Braylon, I got to ask you, because you've obviously been a part of cut downs and stuff with other guys that you thought were going to make the roster, not making the roster. Right. Does every player leave like that? Because it seemed like to a man, you brought up Pimpleton. He was very, very gracious. Tom Kennedy, even though he did all that was asked of him, was very gracious. Dan Campbell
almost cried.
He did.
During Tom Campbell.
But have you seen that out of teams, or is it normally just guys putting on a good face in that moment and then motherfucking them as soon as they walk out the room?
Yeah, 100% is the second option. Those guys, they MF them, in the room when you get released, you want to say the right things because you don't know, your next opportunity. You don't know what this guy is going to say to the next team that you go see or how he's going to respond to this coach interviewing or ask him, hey, what do you think about Khalil Pimpton? What do you think about Tom Kennedy? So I think guys are always trying to, hey, appreciate the opportunity because they're, showing saving face. But behind closed doors, they'll call me if it was a wide receiver that I got a relationship with or some DBs. They'll be like, man, this MFer, man, the hell with them, or this BS. So I can't believe they kept this guy and got rid of me. I think another big reason why you saw that and why the reaction has been that way from people in Detroit like us is we know what the regime was before Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes got here. We know the respect that they did not have for the players. We know how they treated the players. And we know how players that we've talked to on the show, Darius Slade was one of those individuals that talked about, and he was very, very classy how he talked about the regime that was Quinn. He was a lot more classy than I would have been.
Till he went to Twitter, though. Once him and Glover Quinn got on Twitter, we got to see the real story about how they felt about those two.
100%. So it's good that these guys are treated with, and we see it, though. They're building something special. That's the one thing we keep talking about. They're building it the right way, from the way they treat players, from the way they get the best out of players, from what they want to do in the city, all the way around, trying to change the tone of Detroit and change the culture. So they're doing it the right way, and players are showing you that by how they acted when they were released.
When they brought Obina Eze in there, Big Easy, and they were telling him, look, we're going to let you go, but we're going to keep you. We want to keep you on the practice squad. We think that you're very special. And he couldn't have been more gallant leaving that room. Matter of fact, he was leaving the room. He comes back, stops in his tracks, and wanted to tell them how he felt they treated him. And I just thought it was great. The same thing for Godwin Igwebuike, a guy that they didn't want to let go. I didn't realize how close my man, and help my name.
Godwin?
No.
Craig Reynolds?
Yeah, Craig Reynolds. I love Craig Reynolds. Yeah. How could I forget him? I didn't realize how close he was to maybe being let go of this team. But it turns out, he was the final running back that they kept. I know Jamar Jefferson came back and forth and all. He's on the practice squad. But it was between him and Godwin. And they're like, I don't know if you want to let that kind of speed out of this room here, Coach. But they decided to go with him against Godwin. And it was tough. I wish they both could have stuck around, but Godwin's on the practice squad.
Braylon, what's it like in that room when you go from 80-plus players down to 53? Because they kind of mentioned that, hey, it's kind of light out here. You know, the field isn't as full of people. The conference room isn't as full of people. Do you look around and you're like, damn, man, is it a galvanizing moment? This is our squad, or is it wow, man, we made it. We're here with these people?
I think the big thing you think about, one, is comfortable.
You can take a breath.
It's very comfortable, man. You look around, it's 90 guys on the team. You're sitting next to somebody in every row. When you get down to 53 or 61 with practice squad players, it's very relaxing. You can put your arms up a little bit, stick your feet out a little bit. But with that being said, you have a moment because guys are funny. Guys bring that personality. It's a little more quiet in the locker room. people that you made relationships with, they're gone. So you look around for a second and you said, just like that, that NFL dream can be gone. Just like that, it can be taken from you. Like, I literally only had to worry about that once, and that was in Seattle when, in terms of me potentially getting cut, and that was in Seattle when I came in, signed as a free agent. I think I signed on the third day of training camp, signed on the third day, and now I'm fighting against T.O. Like, basically, to make the team, it's me and Terrell Owens, at that receiver spot. Now, don't get me wrong, I know who I am, I have confidence in myself, but T.O. is T.O.
Ask him.
And I know 100%. It's almost,
just ask him.
It's like the KD quote. It was like, you know who I am.
Right.
You know who I am. So going against T.O., I'm like, I know who I am, but T.O. sells tickets. T.O. is a name. T.O. is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Should have been. So, but you're looking, and every day you're like, man, you drop a pass. You start to, dang, I dropped that pass. Like, I never had to worry about that when I was in Cleveland. I never had to worry about that with the 49ers or when I was in New York. But in Seattle, when finally the cuts are over and you make the team and you're in that room, it's like a sigh of relief, and you're like, man, I could have been sitting back at home in West Bloomfield trying to figure out the next step, or Miami. I probably wouldn't have came back to West Bloomfield. I probably would need a couple of days of party.
Go to Cancun for a couple of weeks,
exactly.
recover.
Yeah, I'd probably go down to Miami and pull a couple of all-nighters. But it is refreshing when you make that squad and you look around, because you know what? For guys that aren't first round, second round, third round, guys that aren't free agents, guys that bought in, that paid a lot of money, for guys that are really like on that last leg, that last team, that last hope, undrafted free agent, it's something. It's like the dream could be over in this moment, and when you stay, dream still goes.
Hey, that Dan Skipper, the offensive lineman, they didn't want to let him go. They wanted to keep all their old linemen.
Seems like they should have.
It seems like they should have at this point. They do get Tommy Kramer, and they picked up the guy from Cleveland on waivers. But Tommy Kramer is going to get the start. But they, like you said, they don't know where they're going to put him. They might move Penei Sewell to a guard position. That was one of the situations that Dan Campbell talked about today.
That was what I suggested last year, honestly. You put him at left guard.
A guard?
Think about that left side of the line.
Think
Taylor
about the
Decker,
right side.
Penei Sewell, Frank Ragnow. I am handing the ball off to the left 100 times a game.
Now, what about the right side of the line now?
We still got a solid right side of the line.
They do have a solid line, but you don't draft a guard with your number one pick. He's a left tackle.
I know.
And they move him to
he
right
is.
freaking tackle, but he's really a left tackle.
I just like, if I got a strength, I double down on that strength.
That's all. That just would upset me if they moved my number one pick, who they took, instead of another guy, Micah Parsons. I'm sorry. I'm over it.
Yeah.
Not really.
Move him to safety.
What are you going to do? You can't keep moving this guy.
We're up against a commercial right now, but we'll talk about this when we get back, because I want to dive into this a little bit more. This is one of the big things. See, these are the type of moves, I think, where you say SOL. These are the type of moves when you say same online. Because if this was Bill Belichick right now, especially if Ryan were here right now, he would be ripping Bill Belichick anew for even suggesting that these could be the temporary solutions to Vaitai going down. We would be destroying Bill Belichick. The fact that it's Dan Campbell, the fact that we're so enamored, and it's not the SOL, it's not the same old Lions. They're going to build this program up the right way, and they're going to win 10 games, and yada, yada, yada. You're letting it go. I'm telling you, not a good move, not a good solution.
Well, you know what is a good solution? Contacting our people at SMA if you're dealing with anything. Braylon, tell them a little bit about that.
That's right. Sports marketing helps spread awareness about mental health and substance use of problems. My apologies. I'll start over. The Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their podcast, This is the F Word, the F Word standing for fentanyl. It has the conversation about addiction, abuse addiction, also mental health, talking about how to have the conversation, giving you the proper information that you may need. Go to thesportsma.com if you or anyone you know has problems. Thesportsma.com.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Who wants a free T-shirt? Everybody does. You know that. And you can get a free Woodward Sports Network T-shirt. That's right, a free Woodward Sports T-shirt. All you got to do is go to Big Frog in Novi. That's right. Just stop in, tell them, hey, I'd like a free Woodward Sports T-shirt. And they're going to take care of you. Make sure you go right there. They will give it to you on the spot. Get your free T-shirt. Visit them right now online at bigfrog.com/Novi.
Welcome back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, of course. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermanni. He's running a little bit late today. He'll be in about 15 minutes. But thank you guys for joining us. We're just kind of going over Hard Knocks from last night, some of our favorite moments, some of the things that really stood out for us. And we have the man that pretty much helps put this whole damn thing together. And I cannot thank them for just how much of a... Anytime people speak nice about Detroit, I get a little sentimental about it, right? We've been trashed in the media forever, murder capital of the world. But when we get to put ourselves on display to the nation and people like HBO come in and actually display us in a positive light, show off our culture. Not only they were showing off just the football team, they were showing off Eminem. They were integrating Big Sean into the music. They were showing the Van Gogh exhibit yesterday. Just all the things that there is to do here in Detroit.
That looked pretty cool, by the way.
I've been to that. It's awesome.
My kids went.
Take a girl there. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's awesome. They got to be quiet because you're amongst people, so that's nice too.
Yeah.
But there's just so much more to Detroit than what you hear in the stigma, and I think HBO did an incredible job of displaying not only our football team, but our city.
NFL Films is top of the line.
Yes. So Pat Harris, Assistant Director, NFL Films at HBO Hard Knocks Detroit, joining us right now. Looking
What's up,
good
guys?
as always. So
Thank you.
You can tell it's over because he's no longer sitting in the grass.
Yeah, where's the beautiful
I was looking for the
backdrop?
grass in Allen Park. It's over. The dream is over.
It's over.
That's what I was
Figure
just
out
going to
where to
ask.
sit in my house to do it.
I like that.
I was going to ask, now that it's over, now that you've produced the 5 episodes, they're out there, how are you guys feeling about the finality of this entire season of Hard Knocks?
It's always bittersweet. I think team, crew, everybody by the end of it's ready to, head home and see their families and everything. And I think team's ready to just get ready for the regular season.
Yeah.
But it was such an awesome season. I think, you never want it to end. But it's not the worst thing, come back and hang with the fam.
Before we get into the Lions, before we get into Dan Campbell, the cuts, the players, come on, we got to talk about one of the GOATs, and that is Eminem, Detroit born and raised, rapper, influencer, just lyricist. He's just a special individual. How cool was it, and is this your first time actually hanging around him?
It was my first time. I didn't know how I'd react, and then once we got word over our walkie-talkies that he was here, I started looking, trying to find where he was. I was actually anxiously waiting to see him. It was pretty surreal to be around him. You kind of take a step back when you see him. But he was, everybody felt the same way. I don't think, even if you'd met him before. Sorry, my dog decided he wanted to play.
No, we love it. we love special guest appearances.
You want to come up here? No? I don't know if you guys can see him. We'll get him down here. Nah, he won't come out. No, Eminem was as advertised, I think, which is how the players reacted, how we reacted. So it was really cool to be able to get him on the show.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I've hung out with him a couple of times. I remember the first time I actually did meet him, same type of energy in terms of nervousness. But with M, it's like when you meet certain individuals, you meet a Snoop Dogg or you meet a Jay-Z or you meet a The Rock. These guys are big, they're tall, they're big personality. M is very quiet, which I think adds to the mystique of actually meeting him. Then you're really like, oh shoot, that's him. He's not saying much, he's quiet. It makes it even that much more kind of like, oh, that's him.
I think his sense of humor, I think he has a very dry sense of humor, and you're not going to be the one to make a joke towards him.
Yeah.
But then he'll make a joke and you're kind of nervous, should I laugh at that? Was he making a joke? So he definitely caught, I know our director Shannon, he caught her off guard a few times. We're like, I think he was making a joke, and it was funny, but you're so uncomfortable, I think, when you're around it because they are a megastar.
Yeah. Pat Harris joins us again. He's been awesome. NFL Films. Want to thank you guys for hanging with us here on Woodward Sports. The interviews, the exit interviews, Pat, they're very hard, obviously. how extra hard are they with you guys? How many are you in the room when they're doing the cuts? Is there 1, 2 people? Who's in there?
So there's nobody actually in the actual room. Those are our robotics cameras that we have them set up kind of up in the corner of the room. We have a trailer. I don't know if you've seen pictures of it, but it's a trailer with tons of screens in front of it. We have operators basically that have joysticks that pretty much control the cameras. So typically 1 or 2 of us will be in that room kind of listening in just to know how conversations went. You know, there's certain guys that I think we want to try to talk with after. So it helps us as directors to just kind of know the vibe of that call. You know, certain guys who maybe are veterans who kind of know how that business operates. It's a little bit not easier, but they're more comfortable with it. Other guys who are kind of in shock. You know, you don't want to come in, you know, smiling, talking to a guy if he just had a really emotional moment. So there usually be 1 or 2 of us listening, and then the rest of us are kind of scattered all throughout the building just to try to capture that as best we can.
Were there any outbursts that we could hear about from you guys?
No. So honestly, I think it's a testament to Coach Campbell and to Brad Holmes that I think they just were blatantly honest with these guys in good ways and bad. And I think having seen enough of these, it's when you're honest with a guy, they really struggle to, you know, they just accept it much better. I think some coaches and GMs, you know, kind of beat around the bush with it. And I think with these guys, I think with Coach Campbell having played, like he said, he was just upfront with them and said, you know, certain instances where you were as good as we thought you could be and, you know, just had to move on and try something different. So I think just being upfront with them didn't really cause for any outbursts. I think guys really respected it.
Yeah, and that leads me into the next question. Dan Campbell, he's an emotional guy. I've watched Hard Knocks in the past, and you know, a lot of times it seems like the money ball send off. Like, hey, we're not signing you. Here's who you got to contact. Move the hell on. It seemed like Dan Campbell was more emotionally invested than other coaches have been. Did you guys feel that way as a camera crew when you were watching?
No question. I think that's 100% accurate, and I think that just shows, you know, it comes across when he's on the practice field. I think just even talking to guys beforehand, he wears his emotions on his sleeve in good ways and bad. And I think with this especially, you could tell he could relate and kind of feel what the players were feeling at that moment.
Pat, I want to ask you this question. Now that it's over, the season is starting. Actually, tomorrow, the season will start. The Lions season will start a couple days later on Sunday, opening up against Philly, the Eagles. What did you get the sense from the Lions, from Dan Campbell, not necessarily asking questions, but just kind of observing how they feel about how camp finished, how they close out? Do they feel good? Are they ready and going, just out of your opinion?
I'd say so. No, I think you can definitely tell that they had ups and downs, and there'd be moments in practice where you could tell Jared's getting pissed at the offense or just anything, but it's almost like getting those things out of their system now to, you know, if it happened on a Wednesday, by Thursday they corrected the mistakes and you saw the offense had a really good day. So it seems like they weren't just coasting along. They were having good practices, bad practices, which I feel like to me you kind of need to have before you go into the regular season. You can't just everything's feeling great and everybody's happy. I feel like you got to start to face some internal adversity a little bit to be ready for week 1.
Pat, last question for me. I'm very proud of my city, much like Stick when he was talking about seeing various things in Detroit, getting excited, especially when people say good things about Detroit. What was your favorite place that you went while you were here, you saw, or favorite place that you ate that they do not have where you live, my friend?
Detroit Shipping Company. That is one that I live in Philadelphia, and I have not found an area that you can go one spot and has a ton of different food, or if it exists, it's not near, you know, where I'm at in Philly. But that was awesome to have just tons of different options. You know, you're picking stuff from a Caribbean place, you're grabbing some Asian food. They got burgers, they got dumplings. The ice cream was awesome there. So that was just a cool vibe, I think, to have that, to have drinks and whatnot. So it was a nice spot where our crew kind of let loose a little bit after a long day. It was right on the way back from Allen Park, where we were staying downtown. So that was definitely, we went there a handful of times. And then Green Dot Stables was a slider spot that we found that somebody told us about. That was, and that felt like a very authentic Detroit spot from what everybody said, and it lived up to the hype. That was definitely don't have slider spots around me.
I love it.
Yeah, but you got Philly cheesesteaks, so
Geno's, baby.
You're all right. Pat's or Geno's, by the way? What's your favorite there of the two?
I'm a Pat's guy, but if I'm picking, D'Alessandro's is my choice.
All right, Pat. I'll remember that. I want to ask you, I really loved when you guys followed David Blau and Khalil Pimpleton to their new teams. That's the first that I've seen, and I really loved those segments. So I want to congratulate you on those. And who came up with that idea?
So I think that's sort of I know we spoke previously about how it kind of stinks the way the show times out and then cuts happen. I think this is the positive of that, is that we had a lot of time in between, when roster moves happened and when the show aired. So that was us collaborating with, I think, knowing PR directors and video departments with both the Giants and the Vikings, and then talking with both players. I think, building those relationships up where they feel comfortable, us asking for them to do it and them actually being comfortable with that. So Khalil's his was awesome. I think the fact that the Giants opened up the way they did, let us film everything, and I think David just seeing him in a fresh New Jersey kind of ended that story in a really nice way.
It sure did. It made it a story that I didn't really want to see happen. It felt good at the end of that. Now you got the Arizona Cardinals coming up now. And we saw Kyler Murray walking out finally. So you guys, I think November 11th, the in-game. I loved it last year with Frank Reich and the Colts. What are you looking forward to? Are you going to be on that?
So I won't be out in the field. I'll be back at Films, kind of putting it together from that angle. But it's an entirely different beast. I think as hard as it is to turn things around during training camp, it's even harder during the season, and you live more in the moments of things that might have been saving from week 9, 10, 11 aren't relevant by week 12. So we're very much trying to just live in the moment. You hope for wins as much as anything, and preseason doesn't matter as much if they win or lose. But that it's definitely so. I think we'll be ramping up probably around that November 11th, very small footprint for the first few weeks of the season, just to get them comfortable with us, and then we'll really hit the ground running, I think, come week 9 or 10. I'm not 100% sure.
We're joined by Pat Harris right now, Assistant Director for NFL Films. So at the very end of this last episode, you guys asked a fill-in-the-blank question, and as the director, did you guys have a discussion about how long you leave Dan Campbell's pause in there? Did you go the full 10 minutes? Did you guys edit that down? Like, how long was that pause before he actually answered the question?
So that was not edited down at all.
Okay.
The first time I watched it, Shannon, our main director, did the interview with him, and she knew ahead of time from talking with him that he has one or two of those moments during an interview, because it's very hard as you're asking questions, somebody pauses, and they keep pausing.
Right.
For you not to, break the dead air. So she at least knew to stay quiet while he tried to work through it. But the first time I watched it, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, we got to cut this down. And then, he starts to speak, and I'm, leaning up in my chair, and then I got chills when I heard his answer. So I texted her. I was like, I was a little nervous at first, but I think it delivered it. Everybody in the screening that we watched with the team said the same thing. That's Dan to a core. And I think they all felt the moment really, it delivered.
I thought he was going to cry. I was a wreck watching that last minute, to tell you the truth. But it really did work. It worked great.
Pat, we're going to get you off the hot seat. Last question. Now, this is going to be a hot one. I didn't do my homework because I clearly did not know you were a Philly guy, but you know what comes next. You know what comes with that question. Who are you predicting this coming Sunday? What is the score?
Oh.
So I'm not an Eagles fan. I will say that.
Okay.
I just live here.
I do think the Lions,
I'm just here.
Exactly. I do think the Lions are going to win. I'm going to say 31-24.
Oh, yes.
Love it.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
Take some points.
Attaboy, Pat.
See, this is what happens when you're too nice to a guy in the city. Then he comes in there and then enamored with that city. Oh, my God, Pat. I thought you were going to pick the right answer. I like that, though. I like that. Ryan is going to be excited when he hears that, by the way.
Hey, Pat, are you a little bit of a Lions fan now?
No questions. I think we told Brad Holmes as we left that he's got a lot of Lions fans in the NFL Films building, not just the people that were out there, but all the people that have been going through that footage for 44 days or whatever it was. I think you can't help but, get to know these guys and kind of fall in love with the team a little bit. So, it's an awesome team. The way they opened up to us, I think, that was really a special one. And this, knowing I've done a handful of these Hard Knocks, I think this is one of the more special ones that I'll kind of remember.
That's awesome. And our battle cry here in Detroit, rebuilding since '57. Come on, man. Show us some love at NFL Films from now on. Except you did show Barry love, but he earned it. Calvin, too.
And now, Braylon, I have to say, I did do some research on that shoot from Jets Hard Knocks. Did not find any tangible footage. I think the fact that it's been a little while, we don't have anything. But asked around a little bit. I think it was the music issue with clearing the songs that didn't make the show, unfortunately.
DJ Bray.
We definitely here at Woodward Sports know about clearing music, so I can understand that. Actually, you know what? Now I feel a little better about my DJ skills because I thought maybe I wasn't that good. Appreciate that, Pat.
Yep.
Pat, thanks for everything this whole time
we do appreciate
with us.
it.
Make sure you thank Damon for us and everyone else at NFL Films and HBO. Thanks for sharing the time with us, and we'd love to hit you back during the regular season. Maybe we'll chat. Maybe we can bring you back here and do something else on the Lions.
No question. I definitely enjoyed it, guys. It was a lot of fun talking with you guys, getting to know you a little bit.
I appreciate that.
Well, thank you for your time. We definitely appreciate it, and thank you for shedding great light on the city. And just thank you. Appreciate everything.
You got a fan now in the Woodward Sports, man. We're a fan of yours, Pat Harris.
Awesome. Love it, guys. Thank you.
Next time you're in town, Detroit Shipping Company on us.
Hell yeah.
And Folding Warehouse.
Get some ice cream.
There we go. He loves that ice cream, man.
See you, Pat.
Matt Harris, Assistant Director of NFL Films, HBO Hard Knocks Detroit. Matt's great job getting that guy on for insight right after the show every week. This isn't something that's going to happen again soon for the city.
Right.
So being able to capture that moment, especially with the guy behind the scenes, I'm glad he was able to answer that Dan Campbell about using that lengthy cut. And I want to talk about that fill in the blank coming up next.
I do too, actually.
All right, we'll do that coming up next right here on Ermanni and Edwards. But first, tell about that folding. Ermanni, yeah, he's on his way. But tell about folding, man. I won't be here when we get back.
Oh, come on, Stick.
Bye, y'all.
Sorry, Stick. The Folding Warehouse. We got to get HBO and Hard Knocks out there next time. Next time, right? Go to Hamtramck. Make sure you see Chris Hutt, the inventor of that great game of football and bowling. 2 ways to play it. $12 unlimited open play or a private lane reservation. And you got it for 2 hours. Hello, Ryan. Hi, okay, welcome back, buddy. 2 hours you get it for. Run you $120, but you put 10 or 12 people on a lane. So do the math, about $10 per person. The bar is high. Thank you, Marty Morningweg. The bar is always open at the Folding Warehouse. Anything you want to drink. Plus, they got over 100 beers to offer and the $2 mystery beer machine. Bring your own food in or have it delivered. It's the Folding Warehouse. Get your fold on. FoldingWarehouse.com.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
For a limited time only, all new burgers and loaded fries at Big Boy. It's not a Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. Guess what else is new? The bacon blue. How about upgrading those fries? Chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, nacho fries, what will it be? Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Planet Fitness is the official sponsor of the Woodward Sports Studio, also home of the Judgment Free Zone, where you can work out for just $10. That is right, count them up. 2 $5 bills or 10 single dollar bills, $10 a month, or upgrade to the black card for just $22.99. Hydro massage and more. Join the club today. Go to planetfitness.com.
Welcome back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you to everybody who's downloaded our app, which is free and available for you in the Apple or Google Play Store, so make sure you download that today. Ryan Ermanni going to step in after the next segment, but we kind of wanted to wrap this up. We brought it up with Pat Harris, the fill in the blank at the end of Hard Knocks, the long pause by Dan Campbell, which it's awesome to see that they purposely left that in there, and they didn't edit it at all because it was so powerful about how hard he was thinking on coming up with the right words to say. And if you didn't hear, he says the Lions will be the team that can and will. Those are the words that he came up with.
And then it went to black after that.
Yeah, it was. I thought that was a very powerful statement. You guys in the chat right now, I want to throw this out to you as well. Answer the fill in the blank. The 2022 Detroit Lions will blank. And enter your answer in the chat. Braylon, let's go with you on this fill in the blank. The 2022 Detroit Lions will
be okay.
We gonna be all right.
I think they'll be okay. And I'm looking at Aaron Glenn. He said we will compete every game. I would have wanted more out of Aaron Glenn because they competed every game last year. When I look at the team last year that was 3-13-1, they competed every game last year. So I thought Aaron, who's been tremendous, could have gave us more on that. I thought Kelvin Shepard said exactly what I would want to hear from a team that is claiming to be new, invigorated, and back. He said, and I quote, "We'll put the NFL on notice." That's the type of answer that I was expecting to get out of everybody. I loved Kelvin Shepard's answer. And then with Dan Campbell on the long pause, Lions will be a team that can and will. What does that mean? Can and will do what?
Kick that ass.
We'll say
beat
that ass. I expected out of him because Dan Campbell's that guy. He's that guy that gives you, like, he doesn't BS you. He doesn't dance around. He's not dancing with wolves. He's telling you the truth. He's being honest. He's being upfront. I thought Dan would have gave us something stronger. But for an end clip, for a season faded to black, like The Sopranos, I get it.
That's strong, I think.
What about you, man?
Can and will do what? Can and will lose games?
No.
Can and will disappoint?
They can win, and they will win. They can persevere, and they will persevere. You can put any word in there.
They can lose, and they will lose.
Thank you. They can lose, and they will lose.
Well, you know he don't mean that.
No, I know. Maz, what do you got?
I like what AG said. They're going to compete hard in every single game.
See, I was with Braylon. I didn't love that response either.
They did that last year, and it got them 3-13-1.
But they're going to be better this year because they have better talent.
But then say that. That's all I'm saying.
They will curb stomp you. That's what I wanted to hear some of that, but I get it. Dan Campbell
They're not gonna. They don't have the talent yet.
Man.
Oh, but they're going to win 9 games according to you. Oh, you said 8.
I said 8.
You said 8. You said. I know you said 10. I've been stopping.
Ryan, come here a minute. Come behind me here.
Ryan Ermanni.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. Hit him with the question.
Fill in the blank, Ryan Ermanni. The 2022 Detroit Lions will
win.
Just win, baby.
Win.
But see, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that because when you say they will win, that means you're thinking they're going to win more than the halfway point. More than they lose. Exactly. So even with that, I can interpret that as that. I love that.
And I do like what Aaron Glenn said.
You just like Aaron Glenn.
I do. I like the respect that Glenn and Campbell have for each other. If you noticed, at one point, those were the only 2 guys in the room talking about personnel decisions.
And he was talking about offensive personnel decisions,
absolutely. Too. I will say this about Aaron Glenn. What he said put the NFL on notice. When you every year look at the schedule and you see, like for instance, when I see Jacksonville on the schedule, I say automatic win. When you play the Detroit Lions over the last 20 years or so, you see automatic win. I think what Aaron Glenn said when he says put the NFL on notice, the Lions are going to be a tough out. Ford Field is going to be a tough place to play.
Yeah, that was Kelvin Shepard.
Oh, was that Kelvin Shepard?
I love that.
That's what I
too.
love.
See that?
Put the NFL. I thought it was Aaron Glenn because I love Aaron Glenn.
No, Aaron Glenn just said we're going to compete. He just said we're going to compete.
Yeah, Kelvin Shepard.
Compete.
What Kelvin Shepard said was put the NFL on notice. I think the Lions are not a gimme win anymore. I don't think the Lions are the butt of all jokes anymore. I think the Lions, what we've seen over the course of this Hard Knocks, is they have earned the respect of the players. What you guys were talking about with Pat Harris, when it comes to the respect that those players showed Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell on the way out, I don't believe, and maybe this is maybe just because I'm a Lions fan, but I don't believe I've seen that level of respect from players on the way out.
Yep. Pat Harris said the same.
Talking about the culture and what an honor it was to play for the freaking Lions. Whoever said that? Ryan, this is different, guys. This is different.
You're 1,000% correct. If you ever just watched the Hard Knocks, me having the chance to be on one, I pay a little more close attention too. Watching guys, and guys said the same thing. Like well, guys didn't say the same thing. Guys will say the same old stick. No pun intended over there, Sam. They would just say, hey, thanks for the opportunity. Here's my playbook. I'm gone.
Right.
Hey, thanks for the opportunity. That's what you typically see when guys, when they get the boot, when they get the X, when the Turk, as we call him, comes for you. These guys weren't just saying, thanks for the opportunity. See you guys. Good luck this season. They were like, thanks for the opportunity. I love what you're building here. I see what you're doing. There was so much more because it's a real thing. And what they're doing down there in Allen Park and the city of Detroit with the Detroit Lions, Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes, looks real good.
Yeah, well, my fill in the blank, the 2022 Detroit Lions will go to Les Stanford to get their Chevrolets. That's where you need to go. You need to find new roads, baby. Les Stanford, the Corvette King. If you're looking for a new Corvette, go down there and get one. Or if you got a lease that you need to trade in, no other place to go than Les Stanford. It's right there in Dearborn, right on Michigan Avenue. We did a beautiful broadcast from there, so shout out to all the people at Les Stanford. Take care of us like family. They're part of our family, so they'll take care of you too. Les Stanford, find new roads.
Find them.
Family.
At work and at home. We're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Hey, it's Scott from the Woodward Bet Show. It's Wednesday, one more day closer to NFL football time. Hey, we're ready. Are you ready? If not, make sure you come check us out at 4:30 to Woodward Bet's YouTube page. You guys also got to get over to that app store and download oddstrader.com. It's got live scoring, play-by-play updates, the best place to check all the odds and sports books right in the palm of your hand. But hey, fun coupons. Let's not forget about those. That's what we're here for. Listen, Alec Manola's been pitching great. 2 earned runs in his last 20 innings. Sounds good to me. I'll take him against the Orioles. oddstrader.com. Woodward Bets. Check it out.
Make sure you're listening to Woodward Sports all day long. Start your morning with the Morning Woodward Show. Spend middays with Big D Energy. Watch and listen your drive home with the Bottom Line. And don't forget about Woodward Bets Daily. All live. All right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
At Alta. That's right. Uptime matters as well. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. Have a big project coming up? Well, Alta Rental has you covered. Call them today at 844-GO-2-ALTA. That's 844-GO, the number 2, ALTA.
Welcome back, Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. We got Jeremy in the house.
Yes,
what's up, Jeremy? Good shout out there with those Lions. Fletch is here as well. Adam Morency, we got Flannel in the back. Want to thank Stick
100%
for filling in, sitting in. I had a pre-planned seminar at Fox 2 today that I had to attend. So I apologize to everybody for running a little bit late today. I could not get out of it. And I really didn't try all that hard. I mean, it was a responsibility to that job that I had to do as well.
Hey, man.
So we had to take care of it. I appreciate you guys locking it
That's
down
all I love.
here.
That's what we're here for. It's business. Gotta take care. Let's go. Let's
Try
roll.
harder next time.
Yeah, for the first half of the first hour. You ever sit in a 3-hour seminar before that?
I have.
Oh, my.
Ali Rita. I sat in an Ali Rita seminar. Oh, yeah. Back in my sales days.
Yeah, I haven't done that in a while, but it was very good for the team. As well. Want to keep going with this Hard Knocks, guys, and I apologize just weighing in here. But it was a great interview with Pat Harris. I did listen on the way in, and I just, look, there's a lot of criticism and complaint about Hard Knocks, what you could do, what you didn't do, what you could have done better, what would have liked to have seen maybe a Jeff Okudah feature or something like that. What player wasn't focused on, you know?
Jameson Williams.
Everybody's got their complaints.
He's still on the team?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Jameson Williams, what it's like for him.
How about our number 2 pick, Josh Pascal?
For the most part, I think that's as close. And I was thinking about this last night as I saw the Open. We've been dying for the Lions to get on Hard Knocks for 10 years. 10 years wondering if our team was going to be on Hard Knocks. That was as close to 99.99% of us will ever get to being in those rooms. So you may thought they could have done a couple of things better, and you were in those rooms. You were on that show. For us, that we'll never be in those rooms, in those meetings, have that camaraderie. So I think all of it, holistically, was great. I just thought seeing our team featured in that light was great. And again, people are going to have problems with just about anything you do. Yeah. But for the most part, I thought it was great. And look, the coaching staff, and Braylon, you mentioned this, the coaching staff, they're the stars.
So the show.
They are the stars of the team. There are no stars on this team. There is no DeAndre Hopkins.
Future stars. They're not current stars. No star power. Yeah, it's future stars.
Talking about star power. So I just thought it was great to see the Lions in that light, and I do feel like things are changing in Allen Park.
I agree. I think, the big thing we talked about and wanting to go into Hard Knocks, what were we looking forward to? And I said vantage points. I wanted to see my city in a good display. I wanted to see them show the Van Gogh musicians. I wanted to see them bring out some Detroit star power. You see Eminem's on the season closing. Barry Sanders was there. You saw some of the Michigan players that played at Michigan up the road. They were there doing interviews. So you saw enough for me. I saw more than enough. Got to see Aiden Hutchinson and his family early on, talk about him, the number 1 pick. You got to see them talk about Aiden want to let him loose, unleash the beast. They were very happy with him being the number 2 pick. They got everything and more out of him. You talk about that defense and what they're trying to do with Aaron Glenn. But like you said, it was the coaches. The coaches they put on full display. I think the big thing why I kind of got boring for me, and be patient out there when I say that, is because with social media nowadays, they tell you everything. Social media or the radio or what, they giving you the little nuggets, the hidden gems on who's going to be there. You didn't get this information back in the day. You just had to tune in to see if Eminem was going to be there. You tuned in to see Barry Sanders at practice. You tuned in to see what they were going to say and how the coaches were going to go after each other. So now they're giving you a bunch of information. Now we do shows, so we talk about it all week long leading up to the next episode. So I just think it got just a little, all right, I'm ready for the season. And as an analyst, we've been talking about this since January, so I think now that you're getting close to the season starting, which the season starts in, 5 days?
Yeah.
You're just ready for the season to start, and I think that's what it was. But I think they did a heck of a job talking about Pat Harris, talking about Hard Knocks, and I think the Lions did a hell of a job in opening up Hard Knocks opening up everything, Allen Park, for Hard Knocks, because they gave us, as fans, they gave us, as the city of Detroit, a lot to see. They didn't hide a lot of stuff from us.
Maybe I'm in the minority, but I'm going to miss it. I look forward to it. I have all the episodes on my DVR. I know you can go back and watch them, but I'm going to keep them for a long time.
You do know on HBO, they're always there.
Yeah, I know. It's on demand, but I still keep stuff on my DVR.
HBO Max.
It is what it is. I love what they did last night, and I wish they did last night's episode. I thought it was great. You saw the Van Gogh. You saw Rodrigo shopping. You saw stuff like that. You saw David Blau and his new digs. You saw Khalil Pimpleton and his new digs. They didn't do that this year on Hard Knocks. I didn't get to meet more of the players, get to see what they were doing. Even if you wanted to hold it to 6 or 7 players. Let me see what Jamal Williams is doing on his off time. Let me see him playing video games. That's what I like to see. And that I know for sure that's what my wife and my daughters like to see. They want to see. They don't care about the football practices and stuff like that. We've seen all of that. They care about the person. And that's what they did in the first few episodes, the first few times that they did Hard Knocks with the Baltimore Ravens. You got to meet the guys. I forgot who it was. It was their tight end back in the day.
Todd Heap.
Todd Heap.
Wow.
Thank you. Todd Heap. Excellent.
Hat guy.
Yeah.
Arizona State University.
Yes. You fall in love with these players and stuff like that. That's what I missed in this. And I am going to miss it. And I'm looking forward to the next one.
But Ryan, Ryan brought up a great point last week when we talked about Hard Knocks, is when you looked at those earlier episodes, those early editions of Hard Knocks, whether it was the Baltimore Ravens, whether it was the Dallas Cowboys the 2 times, or the Jets, or whoever it was, those guys were in hotel rooms all together. Those guys were in dorm rooms all together. So you got a chance to see multiple players. You got a chance to see the relationships, the friendly, the things that they were doing in their spare time, because everybody was hanging out together. This so much, you got to go to places to get these guys. And when you go set up at one spot, you're only going to have that one spot. So that kind of goes with how they did that. I think you'll see it again if teams are at a dorm site in Grand Rapids somewhere, or whatever city this franchise is in, or they're at a hotel, you'll see more of that.
That's
when
cool.
you're introducing more players.
That's fun.
Question.
That makes it fun. The guys that making fun of me keeping things on my DVR. I get it, guys. I'm old school. I have like 73 Batmans.
I'm not making fun
I got
of you.
Leave It to Beaver, 25 of those, 20 Seinfelds. I know they're all on demand.
I'm just saying some of that stuff is you don't have to waste the space.
I know.
If you will.
Hey,
I
guys,
can pull
guess
up
what?
Hard Knocks on my phone.
I get rid of
right
everything
now.
that my wife tapes. So she records something, I get rid of that.
Guys, guess what?
I like that.
What?
The NFL season starts tomorrow. And I will tell you, there is a certain team playing tomorrow, and it's not the defending champs, that everybody believes will be the champs this season.
Yeah.
I want to show you something remarkable. Can't remember a time I've seen this. We'll have it for you next. But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience, and it's your last month to register to win the car of your dreams. From Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac, Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. No appointment necessary. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risk, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer at Academy of Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Holton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Odds
Trader.
Gameday best play-by-play updates, live scores, and the best price for every game on multiple.
Hey, Bray, you're up.
Oh, my book. I got to do it again now? I got to
No,
set
you're
it up
good,
again?
bro.
No. The best bet, the best site to get all the game day bets that you want to bet from multiple sports books. Whatever team, whatever league you want to bet on, NFL, MLB, NHL, does not matter, NBA, college, doesn't matter where you want to place your parlays, your long leg parlays, whatever you want to do, you can do it at oddstrader.com. Simply put, they are the best. Forget the rest. oddstrader.com.
If you are watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button for us. Woodward Sports on YouTube. 31,000 plus subscribers here on this platform. And we thank each and every one of you for making us part of your day. We will have Tom VanHaaren coming up with hour number 2. ESPN College Football.
He wrote a little
author
book
with Braylon Edwards at Tom VH on Twitter. Get to him top of the hour. Guys, we were talking yesterday about the NFL and the favorite per se to win the Super Bowl this year, and everybody's picking Buffalo, and what has Buffalo done to be this much of a heavy favorite to win it all? Look at this. I saw this morning, and this basically just solidifies everything that we were talking about. Literally everybody on NFL Network picks the Buffalo Bills to win the Super Bowl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-0.
See, the lazy journalism, or everybody knows something that we know as well.
Rich Eisen's got him over the Bucks, Mariucci over the 49ers, Warner over the Rams. I mean, Michael Irvin over the Cowboys.
So you know what this tells me? And this is what I like about this. This is what it tells me. There are only 2 people that have the same team in the NFC. What that tells you is that NFC is wide the freak open. Wide the freak open.
We're going to have our playoff predictions tomorrow. We're going to give you the top 7 in each league, and we're going to take you right through the playoffs, 1 through 7, all the way through to our Super Bowl champion tomorrow.
I mean, if I'm a Buffalo Bills fan and part of the Bills Mafia,
I'm excited.
This does not excite me at all. At does this excite me? Because you know it's impossible to happen.
Yeah.
How many times, Maz, have you played a game where you played a number and it's like you always take Vegas.
Of course.
Right? You always go contrarian. Whatever the public has, take the opposite.
Correct.
And you might win more than you lose. The public, heavy on Buffalo. They are not going to win the Super Bowl this year.
They're not.
I can't wait till we get our picks in tomorrow, because the big thing that I'm going to say about this whole deal as it relates to the Buffalo Bills being the number one favorite or being the favorite, everybody picking them to win the Super Bowl. You put me on the spot yesterday, and the first thing that came to my mouth was the Bills. Now, when we go back and do my homework, I may have something different
absolutely. That's
tomorrow.
a great point.
Do something different. Home field advantage. Home field advantage. That's one of the big things I'm looking at here. Because if you're looking at a team of Buffalo Bills, let's say they win 14 games, they're probably going to win the AFC. If they're 14-3, they win the AFC, nobody wants to go to Ralph Wilson Stadium. Nobody wants to play in freaking Buffalo in January. If you're talking about playing in Buffalo, including the Bills, but if you're talking about playing in January, we're talking about the San Diego Chargers. You're talking about the Chiefs. You're talking about maybe Russell Wilson. You're talking about whoever else in the AFC has a shot. You're talking about going to Buffalo in January, going to Buffalo late January, the first week in February, to win a game. It's going to be no way in hell. That's the big thing if I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. They got to take every game serious. I'm talking about play through the whistle. I'm talking about finishing the fourth quarter. I'm talking about not taking the starting quarterbacks out. I'm talking about not tanking at the end. Well, not taking, excuse me, wrong phrase. I'm talking about not just, we're
coasting.
Coasting, removing players much like Green Bay does every year with Aaron Rodgers, because nobody wants to play in Buffalo. I played in Buffalo in December 31st. We played in Buffalo, and it was a nightmare. You're talking about January 31st? That's where Buffalo will truly win, and what that looks like can be that if they get home field advantage.
Unless another cold weather city gets there.
Yeah.
A New England, a Denver,
New England,
a New York, things like that. The cold weather don't bother
the
them.
Jets?
Well, I'm just throwing it out there.
I got
That's
you.
a cold weather city.
You got the Steelers. You have Steelers.
They don't care.
All you have is really the Steelers and
the ones you worry about are the
Bengals.
California teams. They don't want to go to. You think the Bengals give a damn about playing in Buffalo? They don't give a damn. I'm just saying.
But
Kansas City, it's cold.
The way that wind comes out there is a lot different than Cincinnati. But I do understand what you're saying.
Look at Green Bay. They can't close the damn game at all.
They're different.
What about the team they're playing tomorrow night, Buffalo? And we can talk about this
the Rams,
tomorrow.
The Super Bowl champs.
The Rams. We can talk about this tomorrow as well as a bit of a preview of that game. But there's something about the Rams. I will root against LA every game they play this year.
They're not going to win. They're not going to win this year. They're not. They're not going to win.
When you say they're not going to win, can you define that?
Well, I'll tell you tomorrow, but I can tell you this. Everyone is going for them. It ain't. There's no free reign anymore. And I know they've almost improved their team. Allen Robinson over OBJ, I think, is an improvement right now.
I don't know if it's an improvement. I just think it's a
But you lose
you
lose Von Miller off the defense, and you got to wait for injuries as well. And Sean McVay is as smart as they come. But he ain't that smart. There's going to be a lot of people catching up to the Rams this year.
Oh, you forgot about Bobby Wagner, but that's neither here nor
yes,
there.
I know. And Matthew Stafford is another year older, and his injuries aren't getting any easier.
Matthew Stafford's 34. Tom Brady's 45. So miss me with the age stuff.
It is.
He's injured more than Tom Brady.
Yeah, it's so exciting to talk about NFL football, though, man. It is here. I mean,
exciting to talk about knowing that it's about to be played.
Yeah.
Like, we've been talking about it since we're blue in the face for 8 months. But now we know tomorrow, I can wake up and know that tomorrow night, I'll be sitting on the couch watching an NFL game that means something.
I mean, think about this. Every day since February, we've talked about the Detroit Lions.
Man. Is that
every
what my
single day?
dry?
February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September.
Hard knocks.
I mean, come on. Now we're going to get some games, baby. Can't wait for that. Speaking of games, Michigan has one under their belts. Another one coming Saturday night, 8 o'clock against the University of Hawaii. J.J. McCarthy will be the quarterback. What were Tom VanHaaren's takeaways of Week 1's game? And also his thoughts on college football as a whole, college football playoff. Get them all out there as well. We'll talk to Tom VanHaaren, ESPN college football writer. We'll do that next. But first, a message from Chili Peppers Tanning.
Yes, sir. 27 locations, more on the way, too, right here on Woodward Avenue, not too far from our Birmingham studios. And if you join the Pepper Club, not only do you get the cleanest salons in the D, but they'll save you $5 against any competitor on unlimited tanning. Plus, you get to meet the Chili Pepper girls. That's right, the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans. Your vitamin D headquarters, head on over, chilipepperstanning.com.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the program. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey, Fletch and Flannel here. Jeremy in the house as well on the audio board today. Talking college football, guys. We bring in college football reporter for ESPN, Tom VanHaaren. He's also an author. Wrote a book with Braylon Edwards. You can follow him on Twitter at TomVH. Tom, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well, but I feel underdressed. Like Braylon's got the GQ look on, and I'm here in a t-shirt.
Appreciate you, my guy.
He's
trying
Cam
to change
Newton.
some things up lately, man. I've become hat guy, Tom.
Okay.
How you doing, bud?
I like it. I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Have you played since I saw you at DGC?
You know what? I know I have. I've played golf like 4 times this year, and it's been soul crushing for me because I said this year I was going to get the handicap down. I was going to do all kinds of stuff with my game, and I just have not been able to play one bit. So a little bit upset that we're moving into the fall. But
don't worry, we'll get this thing going next year.
Hey, Tom, let me rip the Band-Aid off right away. The quarterback competition controversy, however you want to define it, continues now into Week 2. Your big picture take on what we have seen in Week 1 and as we move forward into Week 2.
You're talking about the quarterback battle at Michigan, right?
Yes.
The Cade McNamara, J.J. McCarthy going back and forth. You know, it's been an interesting, I guess, couple weeks over the last couple weeks. What we've seen publicly, we've had Cade McNamara post-game comments saying he thought it was a little unusual. He wasn't expecting to be in a quarterback battle, but you know, after seeing him against Colorado State, if you're in a quarterback battle with a really talented young player who maybe can do a couple different things that you can't do, like move the pocket with your feet, make plays with your feet, has a little bit more athleticism than you. I think I was expecting more out of Cade McNamara, and I don't know what the right word is for the performance. I know Jim Harbaugh praised him and said it was a good performance, but I thought it was a little bit uninspiring. If you're trying to win the job, if you're trying to beat out someone that you know is talented, that's going to get the opportunity to start in the next game. He was 9 of 18, 136 yards. And then we saw J.J. McCarthy come in and make plays with his feet. He had a 40-yard run. He was 4 for 4 passing. And now we're going to get to see J.J. against a not-so-great Hawaii team, and he's going to have the opportunity to go and win this job. So I thought it was a little unusual. We didn't see more from Cade McNamara, see the confident Cade McNamara that we saw last season. So now J.J. McCarthy, in my mind, he's got every opportunity to go win this thing against Hawaii.
Tom, you speak about confidence. And one of the big things you said is we didn't see the same type of confident Cade McNamara that we saw last year. Well, let me ask you another question. When you go 12-2, and which is the most winningest record the Michigan Wolverines have ever had outside of 97, you restore them back to, not you by yourself, but you're a part of a starting quarterback and offense that restores balance to Michigan, well, at least in the Big Ten championship. You come in off season, you do everything right, and oh, by the way, JJ misses all of spring ball. Then you come into camp, you get announced as the captain. You say, everyone said he had his best camp ever. Say he's taken that step. He's done all these things right. He's feeling good. And then a week before the season starts, the head man, who's always been loyal to his quarterbacks, whether it was Wilton Spate, J.J. Rudock, the list goes on, he announces to the media, well, I'm going to have Cade start week 1, I'm going to have J.J. start week 2, and we'll see what goes from there. Wouldn't you, as Cade McNamara, be confused and maybe go out there and overthink the game, overthink throws, overthink plays, because you didn't think that you were in the situation to begin with?
100%, yeah, and I don't blame him for it. I think we saw some different things from Cade in that game that we didn't see last year. If you go back and watch, there were a couple of receivers that were open that he didn't even look at. He had some throws that were off target, and that was kind of his MO last year. Was he was a game manager. He made the right decisions. He wasn't going to be super flashy, but he made the play. And we didn't see that. So that was my first thought, Braylon, was it felt like he was maybe pressing a little bit and feeling that pressure of that competition. And, you know, whether it's right or wrong, it's good or bad, I don't know. But, you know, if you have someone like J.J. McCarthy behind you, you probably have to expect that there's going to be some kind of competition, because J.J.'s not going to sit on that bench and take it easy. I know you said he was out for most of the spring. I know before he was out, he was working with a lot of the receivers and trying to get better and try to build chemistry with those guys. So you've got someone that has just as much talent as you, maybe more. You know this, Braylon. At Michigan, they're going to recruit the next guy up, and you've got to be prepared for that. Whether you expected it or not, I agree with what you said, but I think he's in a unique situation that this is where he's at now.
Tom VanHaaren, ESPN college football reporter. Tom, Michigan up to number 4 in the AP poll. Colin Cowherd put a tweet out yesterday that said something to the effect of, oh, there's that overrated coach again, just number 4 in the country, something to that effect. You talk to people. How is Jim Harbaugh viewed overall right now? I mean, it seems like a little bit of shine was taken off of him, you know, with the Minnesota Vikings situation and maybe even this quarterback position. Where's Jim Harbaugh right now in the landscape of college football? How is he viewed?
I mean, I think everybody still thinks that he's a good coach, and he's got the credentials to back it up. I mean, in the NFL, he had success. In college, he's had success. He's had he's had a few bumps at Michigan, and probably not the typical seasons that everybody expected as fast as they would have. It hasn't happened as quickly as they would have liked. But, you know, I think what everybody knows is that Ohio State has been playing at a level that we haven't seen from them in a long time, that it's going to be hard for anyone to beat them. So, you know, they beat them Michigan beat Ohio State for the first time last season. It did alleviate some of that pressure. Everybody still thinks he's a good coach, but I think what everybody is wanting to see now is that going to be sustained? Right? Can they stay at that level in this current landscape with name, image, and likeness deals? Are they going to be able to continue to recruit without really leaning into NIL? Are they going to be able to utilize the transfer portal? As things change around them, I don't know if the conversation so much is on Jim Harbaugh's coaching. It's how are they going to adapt going forward with teams like Ohio State, with teams like Penn State, with teams like Michigan State, utilizing the portal, utilizing NIL to recruit some of these top players. I think that's really where my focus is, and a lot of the focus for a lot of people is going forward. what is the program going to look like? How are they going to build that and sustain that success if they're not going to lean into some of this stuff and they're not going to utilize that? What happens going forward, and what does that mean for Jim Harbaugh?
I'm glad you brought up Michigan State, Ohio State, and the Big Ten, the overall big picture. Let's get into that. Watching Michigan State against Western, I was underwhelmed. I thought for a guy in Peyton Thorne that was supposed to take that next step, didn't think he looked good, didn't think that offensive line looked good as well. Ohio State, you look down there, Notre Dame's not that good of a team, but for some reason they were able to stick to them. And I saw Ohio State's offensive line on their heels. Purdue and Penn State, decent game. What does the Big Ten as an overall look like? Because for me, I saw 3 teams in the Big Ten. If I'm being honest, I got 3 teams. I got Michigan, I got Wisconsin, and I got Ohio State.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. I think there were a lot of questions. If we want to talk about Michigan State to start, I had questions about the offensive line, what that was going to look like for them. We don't know heading into the season how they're going to replace Kenneth Walker. Jalen Berger had a pretty good game. I don't know that it was outstanding, but he had a good game. And then the defense, they've added some transfers. Jacoby Windman, he came up big for them and had a couple sacks in the game. I think there's still some question marks, but I think they're headed in the right direction. But I do agree that I think they're not at the same level as maybe they were last year, or I don't think they're going to have 11 wins. Penn State, that was an interesting game for me against Purdue, where the defense was supposed to be, the secondary especially, was supposed to be a big strength. And Aiden O'Connell had a field day, and Purdue was able to move the ball and score points. And so that's a big question for me. Ohio State, I think people aren't giving Notre Dame enough credit. I think they're a really good team. That for Ohio State to have just opened the season against that type of team, changing defensive coordinators, trying to build in a new system basically on defense. I expected a little bit of maybe a slow start, but then the second half for them, it was lights out. And that defense, Braylon, I don't know how much of that game you got to see. For me, the defense for Ohio State, they were flying around. They looked faster than we've seen them before, not necessarily in terms of the players are faster, but they were in the right position. They weren't second-guessing themselves. They weren't thinking. They were just playing, and they were in the right position, and they were able to make plays quickly. So although that game might have been close for a while, I think Ohio State, if that defense, if that's what we're going to see going forward, I think they're going to be on another level.
Hey, Tom, can we keep you for a couple extra minutes? I'd like to talk a little. Great. We're going to take a break, 60 seconds. Then we'll come back. I want to ask you about the playoff. I want to ask you about college football as a whole. And there's a guy down at LSU I'd like to ask you about as well. We'll do all that next. But first, a message from Cintron.
Cintron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings. Recently, now, limited time only, Cintron has combined all 3 of their flavors. That's right, the cranberry, the sugar-free, and the classic into a special limited edition 6-pack. At CintronWorld.com/Red Wings is where you go to get this. CintronWorld.com/Red Wings. Let Cintron be a part of the moments. Let them be here. Drink it, live it with Cintron.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Hey, the Monroe Street.
You need a microphone.
There you go. Thank you. Duh. The Monroe Street Midway. Thank you that you're here.
Bet.
You know, Monroe Street Midway is open until September 25th.
Monroe Street.
There we go.
That's it. September 25th. Get down there. You still got time to experience Detroit with roller skating, mini golf, art, live music, food trucks, and a whole lot more. Safe for everyone from 1 to 100 years old. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com for more info. We'll see you at the Midway.
If you guys are watching our show, that is Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Just want to give you a quick update on the U.S. Open. My boy Francis Tiafoe won the first set 7-6. He's now in the second set, up 1 on number 9 ranked Rublev. Shout out Francis Tiafoe. Go USA.
Tom VanHaaren, ESPN college football reporter, also an author, doing it my way.
Hey,
Braylon Edwards, at Tom VH on Twitter. Hey, Tom, college football playoff expanded to 12 teams. It seems like it was only a matter of time.
Yeah, it seemed like it was going to happen. I thought it was going to happen earlier than it did or sooner than it did. A lot of what we're seeing now is, I think the conversation we have to start with is this is about money, right? It starts with money. And there's an opportunity to make more money, so why not take it? On the other hand, though, outside of the money aspect, I don't know. I've heard some arguments against expanding the playoff, and we've talked to some players about it. At the Big Ten Media Days, we discussed this with some of the players and said, we hear a lot of times that there's a safety concern for you. Do you think there's a concern for your safety if they were to expand the playoff and maybe give you an extra week of rest in the regular season? The majority of them said no, they would welcome an expanded playoff. They think having an opportunity to at least get to the playoff would be awesome for them. And that's what I look at with this is if you don't go to 6 or 7 schools, if you're a recruit or a transfer and you don't go to 6 or 7 schools, you never have an opportunity to make it to the playoff. What are you really playing for? Just a conference championship? So why not expand it? Why not let more teams in? We might get the same result. I know that's another argument for people that you're just going to get the same result, but it's free football. Why would you not watch it? And those people that argue against it, they are 100% going to watch it. So I'm for it because, Braylon, I'm sure you guys have won some games that you thought you weren't going to win, and you've lost some games that you thought you weren't going to lose. So you never know what can happen. I think expanding it is a good idea. And I also, the last thing on this, I think it lends itself for the potential for Power 5 teams to eventually branch off on their own, get away from the NCAA, take the college football playoff with them, because the NCAA doesn't own that like they do March Madness. College football playoff is separate from the NCAA. And I think this helps that move in the future. I think that's also on the horizon. The Power 5 teams break off and do their own thing.
Definitely about money. I'll get to you real quick. I want to double back on that. It's definitely about money. We know that well. If there was a college football playoff, I would have been in it outright my junior year. My senior year with an extended college football playoff, I would have been in it. But I still start here, Tom. Don't just start with 6 teams. See how 16 goes, and then maybe go to 12? Or is it just, you know what, all or nothing, let's just go 12?
I like just going to 12 because you're going to make it, the rest of the season is more worthwhile for some of these teams. I mean, if you look at it right now, number 12 right now, if we were just to take the rankings right now, you've got Florida at number 12, Oklahoma State at 11, USC at 10, Baylor at 9, Notre Dame at 8. Those are some good teams. It's not like we're talking about adding in a MAC team or a lower level team who's just going to get destroyed. Some of those matchups I think would work out, and I think we'd still see some good football. So I like it because, like I said, you're giving more people an opportunity to play for something valuable, to have something to play for, and who knows? Maybe you make a run and you get a chance to go play for the championship.
Hey, Tommy, it's Tom Mazawey. Thanks for coming on with us, as usual. But I want to talk to you about the cash. $2.2 billion supposedly up for grabs here to see which media company is going to grab this game, probably ESPN, if I'm putting my money where I think it's going to be. Now, take the $2.2 billion. It's more than double what March Madness cost CBS and TBS and all those other stations. Why not take some of that money? And Ryan brought this up last week, and divvy it up amongst these playoff teams as part of like an NIL type deal. Jim Harbaugh would love that because that gets Michigan off the hook for their pathetic NIL stance. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I agree with it. I think that Jim Harbaugh actually said this the other day with just the Big Ten revenue, that there should be revenue sharing with the players. And I was actually surprised by this. When we were I mentioned Big Ten Media Days, we get a chance to go one-on-one with the coaches outside of the platform that they're on. And we asked them, every one of them that came through with us, we asked, if they feel like maybe it would be a good idea to share revenue. The majority of them said they think it would be a good idea to share some of that TV money with the players. And I was surprised by that. Kirk Ferentz was one of them that said yes. And I don't know that there's a lot of objections to that, because you're talking about a ton of money. And I know that money helps fund some of the other teams and the athletic departments, and there's a bunch of different aspects to this. But if you have that kind of money going around, if the players are driving this, the players have more leverage now than they ever have. And why not make the product, the people that are running the product, the players, why not make them as happy as possible? And you're adding in a little bit more incentive for them as well, that maybe it makes everybody just, if it makes it more worthwhile for them, it makes it a better product. So I don't see any objections to that from my end. I think it's something that should be talked about. But the problem that you're going to run into, and this is why I said I think the Power 5 teams, part of why I said that Power 5 teams are going to break off from the NCAA, is I don't ever think that you will see this if they are associated with the NCAA, because the NCAA doesn't want to put themselves in a position where the players could say, well, now we're employees and now we want other rights. They just will not put themselves in that position, and I think that's a big part of it too. So I don't know that it will ever happen unless the Power 5 teams or whomever break away and do their own thing and create their own league or whatever you want to call it.
Hey, Tom, real quick. I know I keep saying real quick, and I keep cutting on Ryan. My bad. I apologize. But this is the last one. I promise is the last thing. With the exception of last year and the year before that, every final rankings from position 12 to around position 9, 10 had 3 to 4 losses. And 4 would be the 12th spot, but 3 losses. Wouldn't it be something if you got a guy, and I mean this from a negative standpoint, you got a team that wins the national championship or has a chance to win the national championship that finished 3rd, not even in their conference, 3rd on their side. They do it 3rd on their side. They get a chance to finish, compete for a national championship. I just say, what does it say to teams that are winning their conference, that are losing one game, going undefeated? They're outright winning their conference, and they got to compete potentially with a team that didn't even finish 2nd in the conference. They finished 4th on their particular side of whatever you want to do of the divisions in the conference. That's all I'm saying. It takes away the specialness and the uniqueness or the pristine of being undefeated for a national championship or having one loss.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're seeing more one-loss champions. I understand your point, but I think we're seeing more one-loss champions than we ever have. Alabama and Michigan ended the season with 2 losses. Baylor ended the season with 2 losses at number 5. Ohio State had 2 losses. I just think it's a different landscape now. I think college football is different than it used to be. And in my mind, I hear what you're saying, that there should be a reward for winning your conference. There should be a reward for making it through the season unscathed. But I think that if you give other teams an opportunity and they win, why would we punish them as well for not even giving them the chance? I mean, anything can happen during the regular season, and if you just give people a chance, then if they come out on top, if they win, in my mind, they're deserving, because that's how every other sport does it as well.
Tom, 2-part question. First, and I know it's a long season, anybody beating Alabama or Georgia this year?
Yeah, I think they're beatable. I mean, Georgia to me surprised me with how well they played against Oregon. I knew they were going to be good, but they looked really, really good. Replacing all that defensive talent that went off to the NFL, I was surprised. But, I do think that they can be beaten. I don't know that this is a team, either one of them, Alabama or Georgia, that we're looking at and saying, man, they just have no weaknesses. I actually said this in the beginning of the season, and after seeing Georgia, I kind of want to back off of it a little bit, but in the beginning of the season, before all the games started, I said I thought Ohio State was going to win the national championship, and I thought they were going to beat Texas A&M. And I said Georgia last year, before the season started, was going to win the national championship. And now I'm saying Texas A&M is going to get there as well for the same reason. The way that Texas A&M has been recruiting, it's been lights out. They've got some health at quarterback. They've got depth at quarterback. They didn't have that last season. So I think if anyone is going to do it, it's those 2 teams, Ohio State, Texas A&M. outside of that, I'm not sure. I don't know if there's anybody that can match up.
Tom, final question, and forgive the analogy, but I feel like there's a certain element of Rich Rodriguez at Michigan that there is, like Brian Kelly at LSU, just seems like a fish out of water. Will he succeed there?
I think he will because of what he's doing in the transfer portal. If he didn't have access to the transfer portal, I think it might be a little more difficult. But the way that he recruited the portal, how he supplemented the roster and was able to flip the roster as fast as he was, I think the product on the field is eventually going to come around because he's not just taking in transfers. He's also taking in high school kids, and he got a really, really good class of high school prospects last year. They got one of the top quarterbacks out of high school in this last class to go along with some of the transfers that they got. So I think, as brash as he might seem, as many gaffes as he's had with the Southern accent and now this press conference gaffe that he had, if the product on the field is good, if they win, that erases everything. And the transfer portal is going to be his best friend. As long as he can bring in really, really good players from the portal at positions of need, I think he'll be fine.
Brian Kelly succeeded everywhere. I mean, from Grand Valley up, he'll be fine. But my last thing for you, Tom, is you're not here sitting with us every day, so I got to get an outsider's opinion. Pick your quarterback for Michigan, JJ or Cade. Who wins?
Well, if I'm the head coach, and it's not just me picking it, if I'm the head coach, I'm going to pick J.J. McCarthy for two reasons. One, I think he brings a different aspect to the offense. I think the talent he has, I think it's going to give you more options than Cade McNamara. And the other part of that, I think, because J.J. is only a sophomore, in today's landscape, you have to keep him happy. And I'm gonna factor that in. I don't want someone like J.J. McCarthy to transfer and leave me with another problem at quarterback without any depth after this season. So I would take that into account. I know Jim Harbaugh hasn't said that publicly, but in my mind, I have to think that J.J. McCarthy is.
Tom VanHaaren, ESPN college football reporter, also an author. Braylon Edwards, Do It My Way.
Also my friend.
Also Braylon's friend, that's right. Check him out on ESPN. Tom, thanks so much, my friend. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. See you guys.
You got it. Guys, I'd like to stick with the, I almost said Les Miles. I'd like to stick with the Brian Kelly a little bit. We'll tell you exactly, we'll show you what happened at a press conference yesterday in Baton Rouge. I mean, it just seems like this guy is completely off his rocker. We'll do it next, but first a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts, have been for over 90 years. You see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house, it tells the bad guys one thing: stay out. Whether you're home or on the road, they're 24/7 local monitoring. Make sure what is important to you stays safe. Call that number right now, 1-800-STAY-OUT. That number again, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Braylon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Glad that we can finally start trying to get the stigma off of mental health that's been there for all these years.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Oh, big boy!
Big boy!
For a limited time only, the all-new burgers and loaded fries are at Big Boy. It's not the Slim Jim. It is the Big Jim. And how about the chili cheese? It's such a tease, right, Braylon? Guess what else is new?
Wait.
The Bacon Blue. How about upgrading those fries and get some chili cheese fries, some nacho fries, or the baked potato fries? Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
And now we're excited about the weekend. So with that, we'll open it up to this late arriving media crowd that must have enjoyed the weekend. That's usually $10 that we put in the kitty. We'll have a big bash at the end of the year at my place. I don't think it has anything to do with winning. I think it has to do with being on time. All right, here we go.
Brian, right here in the.
And what you may not have heard in that audio, because it was very low, was the reporter saying, well, if you won, maybe we'd show up on time.
It's one game.
I understand that, but there's an element that Brian Kelly's crap don't stink. Ever since he's been down there in Baton Rouge, whether it's dancing with recruits or taking oddly weird pictures with recruits, to having this fake accent, to calling the media out for being late. You do you, BK. You do you. Don't worry about anybody else. I feel like there is something oddly similar to a Rich Rodriguez element happening there, where it's just not going to work no matter what you do.
I think it's going to work regardless, because he's won everywhere he's been. I think with the transfer portal and the brand still being LSU, he'll be successful at some point. I do agree with you that it does remind me of Rich Rod and Ann Arbor in the sense that it just feels out of place. Like, I agree with you when he first came on to the practice, to the stadium, and he didn't know the words to the song. That was cringeworthy. When he tried to use a fake accent, family, that was cringeworthy. In terms of taking pictures with the players, look, coaches are trying to figure out how to fit in. They weren't doing that at Notre Dame. You got touchdown Jesus. Nobody's doing that. LSU is a little different, so I understand that. But in this particular situation, Ryan, in this particular instance, I have no problem with what Brian Kelly said, and this is why. One, she was late. She was late. You're supposed to be there on time. Got to get in there, get into your seats. She was late. She explained that she was late from a doctor's appointment. I understand that. This is the other thing. Did he say a name?
No.
So nobody that's watching this press conference know who the hell this lady was. We only know who she was because she went to Twitter, which was very classy. She apologized, said not her finest moment. You're damn right it's not your finest moment. You don't attack the coach after game one and say, maybe if you want. She was out of line, but she did reach out as soon as she said it on, so I give her a lot of credit for that. She's very classy. You don't say that to the coach. Well, maybe if you guys win. He was joking. And even after that, he conversated with her afterward, cracked the joke with her. He was cool. Be on time, show up. Never said her name, and if you're in that room, only you people in the room know who she was. And I guarantee you her fellow media people, her fellow friends in the media, were not going to out her or mention her name in their report or in their columns or on TV when they talk. So I felt like she was out of pocket for that one. He was kind of trying to have some fun, trying to crack the ice. I get it. But this is the one time I will stick up for BK. I don't have a problem with what happened.
Yeah, she had to cover her ass. I'm sure her boss told her, you better apologize. Otherwise, you're not going to be on that beat anymore. Ryan, I like what you brought up with the Rich Rock thing. It's kind of cute, but it really is not the truth, because at Michigan, they handcuffed Rich Rodriguez. Yeah. They didn't let him be Rich Rodriguez. LSU is letting this guy do whatever the hell he wants, and he is going to be great there. And they lost the game because they missed 2 kicks. That's why they lost that game. And they're going to be fine going forward. They're not going to win a national championship this year, but he'll have them in contention in the next couple of years. He's a great coach. I wouldn't mind him being the head coach here, to be honest with you.
I don't know how much Michigan handcuffed him. Now, did they fire him too early? I'll give you that.
They handcuffed him.
Okay, for last time I checked, they allowed him to go to YouTube and give a scholarship to a guy that was a YouTube sensation. That's not
Sam McAfee.
That's not handcuffing. But in terms of when I walked into Schembechler and didn't recognize it because all the trophies were gone, because all the stats were gone, because all the pictures of the awards and things like that were gone, that's not handcuffing an individual. When he announced that he was going to give out the #1 jersey to a guy that played defense, well, we've known that since has changed. But when he was going to do it then, they were going to allow it to happen. But he reached out to me because Coach J Freddie J reached out to him and said, "You might want to."
Speaking of which, sorry to
he's
cut
back
you off.
on the sideline.
I
Yeah,
saw
he's
him
back
on
on the sideline
this week.
He's back. He's back as a consultant. He's back as a consultant.
Fred Jackson.
Fred Jackson,
Long
running backs
time
coach.
running backs coach for the University of Michigan.
Yeah, he was AD at Ypsilanti High School.
Okay.
He was AD
Oh,
coach
man,
over there.
I
Yeah.
saw Fred Jackson on
I
the
got excited.
sideline. I was like, "Is that?" And I had to look. That's Fred Jackson.
He passed on Berkeley, but you know what? Hey, I forgive him.
Yeah,
Hey,
I mean,
what I meant by handcuffed is they didn't let him bring his players in, Braylon.
Oh.
Now, he did screw up all the stuff, and that's when the freaking halo was up on Michigan Stadium back then when he was there.
His players didn't want to come here. Like, as soon as he switched schools, because Terrell Pryor was going to West Virginia. Terrell Pryor was going to West Virginia, and he thought by coming here, Terrell Pryor was going to come here. Terrell Pryor wanted nothing to do with Michigan. He wanted to go to West Virginia and play for him. So is that the player you're talking about, Terrell
No,
Pryor?
I met some of his defensive guys.
Once he came to once Terrell Pryor said, "No, I'm not going to Michigan," that was kind of writing on the wall from the five-star recruit standpoint.
Look, it's probably not apples to apples. I mean,
It's interesting.
It's just kind of it is when I see a coach change the way they talk to try to fit in to a certain area of the country, it just feels not authentic. It doesn't feel genuine. And anytime you have somebody not be their genuine selves, I just don't think that the chance of success is all that great when you have to try to navigate that element.
Remember when in He Got Game, the brilliant movie, Spike Lee joint with Ray Allen? Remember
Absolutely.
Ray Allen imitating Stephon Marbury, actually, which is very hilarious. But remember he goes on that recruiting trip, and I think Rick Fox shows him around. Remember the coach that's always in Spike Lee movie, trying to act black and act cool? And Ray Allen was like, "Oh yeah, I ain't coming here." That's kind of what it felt like to my point.
Seriously, man. Hey, more college football news. There is going to be an addition to College Game Day. I watched that show a little bit last weekend. I've got some concerns about it.
Yeah.
And I don't
Get
have
him
some.
off the air, man.
We'll have that for you next. But first, a message from Gypsy Vodka.
The Mulligan by Gypsy Vodka. The summer is over, but fall is still here, and so is the Mulligan. 8% alcohol, Alka-Seltzer. It is amazing. Alcohol seltzer. Excuse me, it's not Alka-Seltzer, it's a seltzer. 8% alcohol, not 5%. A little stronger, so you got to be careful, but it is good. Iced tea, lemonade, mango. Iced tea is my favorite flavor. Just a little bit of an advantage right there. Adam, Mike, you got it right. We got to support Michigan distillers. Stop outsourcing states to go somewhere else. They got a great product, a great brand. It's here in Michigan, Petoskey, Michigan, to be exact. Gypsy Vodka introduces the Mulligan. But drink safely if you're going to drink.
Detroit's downtown summer playground is back. Open all summer long, the Monroe Street Midway. Enjoy roller skating, free Wi-Fi, food trucks, art installations, and so much more. Don't forget to take advantage of the basketball court, putt-putt, and, of course, family programming all summer long. All art installations are done by Detroit artists, and it's a fun, safe event from people 1 to 100. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Academy of Warren. Yes. Are you interested in expanding your career?
I am.
And making a difference in your community?
I am.
Good. Academy of Warren for professionals that have a reason for working with students, the K-8 department, and more. For more information on how to apply, call them at 586-552-8010. That's 552-8010.
Or where else can you find them?
You can find them on
AcademyOfWarren.net.
AcademyOfWarren.net.
Academy.
Or is it .edu?
That's a great place and a great thing to
Thank
part
you.
of.
Saw it on the screen.
That's good.
Yeah, very good.
This doesn't have it in there. I'm
no.
sorry.
Oh, good.
I got to redo these reads. Sam used to read these.
Hey, if you are watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button. Let's get to over 100 likes by the end of this segment. By the end of this next 60 seconds, we can do that. That would be fantastic. Talking a little college football. Pat McAfee going to join ESPN College Game Day. You wonder...
Doesn't he have enough jobs?
Yeah, right. But you do wonder what happens between weeks 1 and week 2 where you're like, I couldn't get this deal done before week 1. You know what I'm saying? It's very unusual to have a big story like this or somebody join your broadcast in week 2 as opposed to week 1.
I think it's flat, and they probably reached out to him late. I know they've probably been working with him.
That's a good point.
I just think it's a flat show now. It's not like it used to be.
Look,
I mean, the Fox show has taken it over.
Hold on. I might have you. I might have a reason why. Big Noon Kickoff didn't come on last week.
Yeah, it did. At 10.
Big Noon Kickoff?
Yeah.
Wasn't last week. They didn't do Big Noon Kickoff last week. I'm pretty sure they didn't.
Thought it was on at 10. Game day starts at 9.
I talked to Matt last week. He said they weren't doing Big Noon Kickoff.
Really?
Big Noon Kickoff didn't come on last week. I talked to Matt Leinart.
Huh.
And I'm pretty sure he's on the show.
No, because Urban Meyer was on last week.
I gotta see what.
Yeah, because I literally watched Urban Meyer
on Saturday.
Week. Yeah.
I was talking to Matt. I was talking to Matt like 11 on Saturday.
Maybe it was halftime of the game or something.
But it was halftime of the game because I'll show you the text. Like Matt wasn't on the show.
I did see Brady, and because I mentioned myself, I'm like, man, can anybody get me more handsome than this guy? I mean, he just radiates off the freaking TV.
But Brady also covers games too.
I remember watching Urban Meyer, thinking to myself, yep, what a great addition to the lineup. What a great addition to the lineup.
You don't
Urban
think
Meyer.
he is?
No, I do.
Okay, because I didn't know if you were being sarcastic.
No,
or not.
I think that was a slam dunk to bring him back. He is great.
He's great on
and
it.
it's just like Matt Millen. When Matt Millen left the Lions, go right back to the booth where he is great. Not good. Matt Millen is great in the booth.
But the Pat McAfee edition, he had to get permission from the WWE. Is it WWE?
WWE, yeah.
He had to get permission from them to hop off of their show to hop on with ESPN.
And they
now.
said it was a relatively quick process for that.
They did, but I'm thinking maybe that was it.
Because that's exposure for WWE as well. It is one of, and I was just watching on A&E on Sunday night. I recorded it. They had this documentary on the making of WrestleMania 1.
Yeah, you were saying that.
And it was great. And part of that was this crossover to MTV Network to get in front of more eyes. Okay. It's no different from WWE now. They're on ESPN, where they have their own WWE tab on ESPN.com.
Yeah.
They want Pat McAfee on these platforms. It's great.
I'm interested in how it's going to work out.
I'm looking at it right now. I said, Big Noon Kickoff is me and my boy Ryan and stuff. All good. I hit you on the way to the studio. We start Road Show next week, so actually no Big Noon today. This was Saturday.
That's interesting. So then
That's probably why the ESPN waited.
Then they did the halftime show then. They must have.
Yeah.
Because I know I
I
saw
saw them too. I saw them. But the Pat McAfee thing is a head scratcher. I just don't know how he's going to work with those guys because he's such a big personality.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just going to take over.
You know who hates this?
Reese Davis.
No,
Desmond.
David Pollock.
You think?
Because if you think about it, David Pollock
He's the forgotten guy.
David Pollock was hired to be that Lee Corso replacement. The only problem is Lee Corso is still there.
Oh God!
And I don't know how you have. I guess you can have. You can have Desmond, Reese, McAfee, Pollard, and Herbie. Because the other team, Big Noon Kickoff has 5.
Maybe Herbie's done.
Maybe.
I mean, let's face it.
Chris Fowler's done.
Yeah.
Chris Fowler left that show to exclusively call games. Maybe McAfee will spell Herb Street a little bit.
Because Herbie's got the prime game
Yeah.
on Thursday nights as well as his Saturday night game with Chris Fowler.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. And at the end of the day, I was watching with Lee Corso, and look, I love Lee Corso. I love what he's done. I remember the first time I was introduced to Lee Corso was watching highlights of my dad's game against Indiana in '79, where Indiana thought they had won the game. And guess what? Here comes number one, the original number one, Anthony Carter, to win the game. So you love what he's done in college. Sometimes you got to let somebody like gracefully go out, man. Lee, he's forgetting calls, he's forgetting names, he's forgetting teams, he's forgetting coaches. It's cringeworthy to watch to a certain extent. Like, he's at that point now where you send him a severance package, like a nice severance package, let him walk away gracefully.
He's 87, Bray.
Somebody's got to have that conversation. I know everybody like, I don't want to be that guy. It's got to be that guy. Look, let Lee Corso go out, and while he still can, before he falls asleep on the show.
Too late. They already ruined him. Last week was awful.
Awful. He's like reaching for the handicap. It was
couldn't grab the hat.
I feel bad to watch it, and I'm not trying to crack a joke. This isn't me being
and this isn't
insensitive.
An ageism thing.
Yeah,
no,
ageism thing.
You're looking at a guy that loved Pat Summerall.
Yeah.
And Pat Summerall wasn't Pat Summerall at the end. I remember Sean, our guy Sean Belisian.
Yeah.
You know, and we had a good time. They had a good time at his expense. I would always defend him. But in reality, I'm like, yeah, Pat, it's time to go.
It's not the 87 is the number. It's not the 77 is the number. When it seems as though an individual is no longer sharp, an individual is no longer there, and it kind of seems like they're taking advantage of him or they just don't want to let him go, then that's when I have a problem, and I think that's what's happening with Lee Corso.
Without question.
Yeah.
And look, I do think Big Noon Kickoff is a better show. They have more talent that younger audiences know, too. I mean,
I like Reese Davis as a host.
Reese Davis as a host is fine.
I think he's great.
But what I'm saying is
better than fine.
What I'm saying is, look, I know Desmond Howard, you know Desmond Howard, but if you're in college today, you don't know Desmond Howard.
Yeah, you do.
Do you?
He's got the most synonymous pose. He's got the synonymous, like his Heisman pose is the Heisman pose. He's still young looking. He's still got the $1 million smile with the teeth. And I mean, he's just okay, but he's still got the $1 million smile. He represents a brand. Like, he's got the Heisman pose. Like, I get what you're saying, but you still know who he is. But you got to bring some younger people.
That was in 1991.
Yeah,
you know, I mean,
they put on a video game 5 years ago.
In 1991, college kids today were like minus 17.
Yeah. And that's
you know what I mean?
I don't have a problem adding something around him.
Yeah.
But Desmond, it's the pose.
Yeah.
Like, it is the pose. When people imitate the Heisman
look, I'll be honest with you. Desmond is rough to me. Desmond to me, you don't have to say it.
Thank you. Thank you for spelling me.
Pause. I'm not going to make you go there. Desmond Howard is hard to watch on game day. It's almost like he doesn't know what's like. I don't want respectfully, because I love Desmond Howard. I'm a Michigan guy. I love respectfully, but I watch him and I'm just like, what's he talking about? You know, sometimes I'm sure people say that about me.
All of us.
But all of us. But I'm like, what are you talking about? You know, and I can't give you an example right now, but. You know, college kids today.
All he does is vote on Ohio State.
College kids today, when they were 8 years old, Lee Corso was 77. They don't know Lee Corso's great days. You know what I mean?
I'm 39 and I don't know his great days.
You know, Herbie is one thing, but nobody really knows who David Pollock is. I guarantee you.
It doesn't matter. He's a good-looking dude that talks about
good,
football.
Though. Like David Pollock.
He is good.
Now, David Pollock is damn good.
There's a lot of talent on ESPN.
This is the problem with David Pollock, and it goes back to what we always talk about. David Pollock knows his stuff.
Yeah.
He knows more football than probably, I don't want to say most of those guys on the set, but David Pollock knows a lot about football. But you know what? He's got Zotsky for a personality. There is nothing redeeming to watch David Pollock because I do want to be entertained a little bit. I don't care about what you know, to be honest with you.
I think he's entertaining.
He's got zero personalities.
What's entertaining about David Pollock? You're just so nice to everybody, man.
Zero personality, David Pollock.
Where's his personality?
He doesn't bother me. He's giving me the information I want in a pleasant way.
But Matt,
what's wrong with that?
But Matt, you're not saying the same thing as what he just said. Ryan said he knows everything
I
about
don't need a guy that's going to juggle and be
Corso.
funny. I don't need that.
But again, that's Corso. What separated Corso from
why do you like
every other
analysts? Why do you like some of the analysts you like? When you like, this is my guy, that's my
Yeah.
guy. You like him. Gus Johnson.
Madden.
It's a hell of a personality. Madden, hell of a personality.
Howard
Summerall.
Cosell.
You don't have to be loud to have a super interesting personality.
I get
like
it.
Pat Summerall is not loud at all, and he's great. His personality shines through in the little things and how he says them. With David Pollard, he knows a ton of stuff. But in terms of personality, it's like, all right, he's a cool Southern guy. I
Total
get it.
zero.
Mind you, he's in my draft class, by the way. He was
By the way,
drafted to
And
the
again,
Bengals.
I'm just mentioning guys that you like
I know.
now and why
Yeah.
you like them. You love larger than life personalities.
I do, and I also like soft-spoken guys like Troy Aikman.
Like me.
Troy Aikman. You guys don't like Troy. I love Troy.
I like Troy.
You guys don't like
He's
Joe
fine.
Buck. I love Joe Buck.
I love Joe Buck.
You can't get any more flat than Joe Buck.
I go back. I don't really think Troy's all that great.
There you go.
I'm okay with him, but I don't consider Troy as one of my top guys.
If Troy Aikman did not have the resume of a player, no. I'm saying if he didn't have the resume of a player, 3 Super Bowls, 1 Super Bowl MVP, et cetera, you wouldn't like Troy Aikman too. But you take what you liked about him as a Dallas Cowboy great, and then you add that to him on the set with Joe Buck. Now you got a guy that you like. Take those stats and resume away from him, you wouldn't like him.
Why do I like Kevin Burkhardt and
solid Burkhardt?
No, his partner. Come on, help me out.
Yeah, those are your guys.
Yeah, but this is different. You're talking about
The tight
play-by-play
end,
guys. I'm talking
the tight
about
end from the Panthers.
Greg
Olsen.
Olsen.
Greg Olsen is not huge personality.
It's not
I think
apples
he's
to
terrific.
apples, though. You're talking about guys doing a game that get excited about calls, too, like a Lee Corso who's going to put a head on. I mean,
Yes.
that's entertaining stuff. Or, flail his hands all over the place. Or got that pencil. That's personality.
Yeah.
That draws people in. Or who is the guy with the highlighter? Was that Digger Phelps? He always used to have the highlighter.
Yeah.
That's personality. I don't
Dickie
care what
V.
you know about basketball. I don't want to know. I just want to be entertained.
Well, Juice's Ghost on YouTube about an hour ago said the reason that Pat McAfee's on is probably because of FanDuel.
Perhaps.
Think about that.
Oh, very good.
A little connection there.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break. Come right back. There was an admission that we have to get to avoid a lawsuit. What is that about? We'll have it for you next. No read here. How about...
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Welcome back, Woodward Sports Network. Maz hates when I say it, but I just thought I'd do it.
I thought we got rid of Woodward Sports.
Woodward. Hey, I only did it once. You said I do get to do it once per show. Final segment of the program. All right, so Tom Mazawey, Braylon Edwards. Remember a while back when Freddie Freeman fired his agent? Doug Gottlieb said that his agent was presented an offer from the Braves, but did not present that offer to Freddie Freeman.
Because he wanted to go to the Dodgers.
Exactly.
Casey Close is his agent. Same agent that Derek Jeter had, by the way.
Casey Close threatened a lawsuit, said that did not happen, and threatened to sue him. And Gottlieb says, quote, I prematurely reported on these events, and I simply got it wrong. The conduct I allege did not occur, and there is no credible basis for stating it did. This is bad, I think. Doug Gottlieb, had an official statement. I appreciate the damage that this misinformation like this can cause, and I have been in touch with Casey Close to apologize directly. I have also deleted my original tweet. What would lead you to say that? Like, I love this.
He went with a source. He said my source was wrong.
I keep telling you guys about these sources.
He went with a source.
I keep telling you about
I
these
actually
sources.
love this. I think this makes us better as a whole.
Yeah. Right.
Because I do believe you have to be accountable for the things that you say when you have damaging impact on people. And this sort of report, if untrue, could totally damage Casey Close's business for the rest of his life.
Yeah. Totally damage it.
Now, when you give your opinion on Michigan State and you say, well, it's my opinion that, it would give me pause. I'd be a little concerned if I was a Michigan State fan. Well, that's not damaging anybody's business.
Yeah.
But when you attack people like this, that's bad, man. I think this makes us better when they threaten lawsuits like this. You better have it right, man.
And I keep saying
you better have it right.
How many times now have we seen guys report things and they're not necessarily true because everybody's trying to break a story. Everybody's trying to be the first one to get something out there. They want to increase their following. They want people to come to them first. They want to make more money, whatever it is. But now people are jumping the gun so fast, wanting to be that person. They're not taking the time to follow the ethics of being a journalist, the ethics of journalism, and getting your information correct, and not putting things out there just because you're like, it probably is true, boom, let me jump the gun, let me be the first guy to report. Whether it's Tom Pelissero, whether it's Ian Rappaport, whether it's Adam Schefter, we've seen a lot of guys with a lot of big names, talking about big names in sports, get things wrong over the past 9 months, man. You got to take time, get your sources right.
Derek Jeter spoke out right away. And he says, I find this hard to believe that Casey would do that. Now, Casey Close, after he got the apology from Gottlieb, says, it's over. Case closed. I'm done. I'm not suing anymore. He's satisfied with that apology. So, all's well that ends well.
But it also shows you the type of guy Casey Close is. Shows you what he really wanted from the situation. Say, look, man, I'm not trying to go through the legal ramifications. I'm not trying to be caught up in litigation and all that BS. I just want you to get your you-know-what right.
Clear my name.
Clear my name, say you effed up, and guess what? I don't have time to be dealing with you. I got a ton of other things that are way more important than this. That's what I like. He didn't want to go to court. He just wanted you to get the information right.
You mentioned Derek Jeter. It is like...
He's in the captain,
Well, that's
fact,
exactly
Casey
what
Close.
I was going to say. He was Derek Jeter's longtime agent, Casey Close. And when you see a face, because I watched that Captain documentary on ESPN+, when you see a face to a name...
You're right about this.
It does kind of make you side with that guy.
I did.
Yeah.
I said, no way this guy's bullshit.
Exactly.
No way.
You know, I mean, I because I saw him in the documentary, I said to myself, there's no way that guy is who Doug Gottlieb portrayed him to be.
I'm going to add something to that.
Gottlieb got.
I like that. I see what you did there. I'm going to add something to that. Not necessarily putting a name to a face. It's putting a name to a face that represents a certain individual.
There you go.
You know what to expect out of Derek Jeter. So you're like, ain't no way in hell Derek Jeter would have somebody work for him that's capable of it. But
for as long as he did.
Exactly. But if that was A-Rod's attorney, you would be like, 100% he did it.
Fact.
Like if it was A-Rod, two different types of kind of people. If it was A-Rod, I'm like, he probably did that stuff.
Facts.
But with Derek Jeter, you're like, it's not possible.
By the way, guys. By the way, keep it in baseball for this for a second.
As long as you don't talk about Tigers.
I was just going to say they lost. They lost again yesterday to the Angels. The other night, Cody Clemens got in the game.
Such a great ending.
Cody Clemens threw an eephus pitch to Shohei Ohtani.
6 times.
They were down 10-0 at the time, the Tigers. And what a pathetic season. He jumps off the mound. He was so excited. He got the ball signed by Shohei. He wrote, that was a hell of a pitch.
Or something like that.
Yeah, he was like, that was a hell of a pitch, and Shohei signed it and all. But oh my God.
I forgot they were playing.
Can I say something about the Tigers? They are close, from what I understand. They are closing in on a new general manager, and it could be one of the guys that are helping run the Dodgers.
Last night.
And Lynn Henning kind of alluded to this back when he was talking to us. And if it comes true, we might have ourselves a winner here. Finally.
See, I don't know though. To be honest with you, I don't
VP of player development.
Be honest with you, I don't like that. You want to know why I don't like that?
Yeah, please tell me.
Look at their lineup.
Yeah, you can't help now. You're starting over.
I know, but what I'm saying is, just because you're associated with the Dodgers doesn't signify to me you could pay for anybody you want on the Los Angeles Dodgers. You could pay for Mookie Betts. You could pay for Freddie Freeman. You could pay for Trey Turner. You could pay for insert name here. You cannot do that anymore with the Detroit Tigers.
No, they have to start
I'd
from
rather
scratch,
see
man.
the Cleveland Guardians guy or the White Sox.
Yeah.
Or somebody that has to do it like that.
I know you want Chris Getz.
Well, forget about Getz. It's not going to happen. What I'm saying is, I'd like them to come from an organization that has a proven track record of bringing guys up, developing them, and making them major league talent. Look at the Dodgers starting 9 in their pitching rotation.
Yeah, it's an all-star team.
And how do they get that?
They paid
by
for them.
opening up their checkbooks.
Yes, they paid for them.
So
I get it.
Just your association with the LA Dodgers does not mean success for me.
Well, the guy has a great pedigree and resume. That's all I know. I don't know much about him other than what Lynn Henning tells us.
I don't either. I'm just telling you to pause, pump the brakes a little bit, just because he comes from a successful
Let me tell you
organization.
something. You'd be better off just getting a brand new expansion team here, because that's what you need. You have an expansion team in Detroit, plus maybe 3 players. That's it. That's all you have.
There's another team whose owner has a lot of money, is buying players, picking up, and they figured things out, how to get guys, did things a little differently. And then a franchise in the city of Detroit, they like how those guys were doing business. They picked up that GM. He's now the GM for the Detroit Lions. So watch out, Ryan. It could be a situation where that Dodgers got cooked.
Well, look at the
Brad
Rams.
Holmes.
Good job.
Look at the Rams. They supplemented with free agents, but go look at that roster and see how many guys they drafted, developed, and turned into great players.
Aaron Donald.
There's one of them right there.
Over Eric Ebron.
Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp.
Jared Goff led him to a Super Bowl.
Jared
think
Cooper
about
Kupp,
it.
Robert Woods.
Just saying.
Some Kupp.
Matthew Stafford.
Guys, hell of a show today. Again, thank you to Stick for sitting in first half of the first hour. Really appreciate you guys holding it down for me. And that, look at this. Does Ryan ever see things from a positive perspective?
Yes, he does, because he's positively the best guy that I know. This is Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. And shout out to my man Jeremy in the booth. Day one, did a good job, brother. Campbell
Knocked it out
down
of the
fully
park.
in the building. Also, Adam Morrissey, always a pleasure when you're there. Flannel Sam, I see you in the back. My man Fletch on the right. We are Ermanni Edwards with Maz.
Yeah.
Do I just go? I'm not going to drop. Go. All right. Go ahead.
2, 1.
Oh, my God. Go. Oh, jeez. Oh, my. Oh. This isn't right. I don't get paid enough for this. Oh.